There are some lies in our science books. Taught it for 15 years. Even though I'm not teaching it anymore, I still like to study. It's so many neat things to learn. We're going to cover some of that tonight.
Perception is being managed. We are being steered and guided by a hidden hand.
The whole world has been duped by the media that is not real.
Smart thinking, possible time traveler, smart thinking.
That night, boom, contact memory.
And then Alex, if you don't agree, you'll be sent to a re-education camp.
Just because I'm old doesn't mean I've lost my touch with the ladies.
A lot of people here tonight felt like they lost. You know why?
Now, experts are suggesting that we're in a golden age of shape-shifting reptilian sightings. Now, why is that?
I was, and still am, a huge conspiracy guy. I literally ran out of new tin hat topics to research.
It was most definitely not capable of melting steel.
Then I would be a crackpot if I thought that was the case.
Welcome to the Hypothetical Institute, a podcast about conspiracies.
My name is Luke.
I'm Salty.
I'm Cam. Gentlemen, how are we?
Good.
Peachy keen. Oh. It's a new thing I'm saying.
Yeah, I've noticed. I don't like it.
Okay. It's not for you.
I'm going to throw up a little content warning on this episode.
Yeah.
There's an episode about Jeffrey Epstein. So we're going to be talking about some nasty stuff. Suicide and other things. So if that's not something you're interested in, give it a miss.
Yeah. Go back and listen to one of our older episodes. Still really good. Yeah. Evergreen content.
Yeah. I mean, probably there's a lot of suicide in those as well.
There is. That's fair.
Yeah. Just go for one of the ones that's like...
sun gazing.
Sun gazing.
Or aliens.
Something super cooked.
Yeah.
Before we begin, we'd also like to thank our Patreon supporters, but especially Tammy, our cooked $33 sponsor.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
And everyone else.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein, because this has consumed everyone. Even normal people are saying to me, like, oh, did you hear about Epstein? That doesn't seem right.
The
problem with doing things like this is, let's look at the cooked Jeffrey Epstein gear, and then it's like NPR.
Yeah, or the President of the United States.
Yeah.
Do we really... There's not much of a stretch to get cooked shit out of his mouth, though, is there?
No.
But, like, the fact that he's the President of the United States. Yeah, like, I don't know. And it kind of forces our hand into talking about it. I don't want to get into politics too much. I want to talk about aliens and monsters.
So...
And here we are, dragged into it by this fucking sex pest.
Just talking about a monster.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So Jeffrey Epstein was a financier.
Yep.
He worked in the finance industry. He originally started out as a teacher. He was hired as a math teacher at a private school somewhere. Mm-hmm. But the guy that hired him, interestingly, was Donald Barr, the father of, I think it's Andrew Barr, the current Attorney General of the United States, who is like, Justice Department is now investigating all of this stuff. Donald Barr also formerly of the OSS, the predecessor of the CIA.
Right.
While he was teaching, he met Alan Greenberg, who was the
Federal Reserve guy, wasn't he?
The CEO of Bear Stearns.
Oh.
And I don't know, must have impressed him somehow at parent-teacher night, because he ended up getting a job at Bear Stearns.
Right.
As like a shit kicker, like down the bottom of the rung. But he started climbing the ladder. He had a few interesting clients along the way, including Adnan Khashoggi. Pronunciation perhaps not correct, but he was like one of the main Iran-Contra guys. Giving weapons, I believe, to Iran.
Yep.
He also was, a little further down the track, was one of the people who came up with the idea of bundling up a bunch of shitty loans and mortgages into AAA rated things that you could sell, which, as we saw, was not a great idea.
Yeah. It's kind of why the world is in such a shitty situation right now, right? A big part of it.
Yeah, because it was a bunch of shitty loans that they were like, oh, these are really good loans. Just buy these. Let's base our economy on this. But yeah, his a company he started was like one of the ones that sort of came up with that. Anyway, he was also a massive pedo. So
that's probably where his downfall was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his like major downfall in terms of like losing almost all of his money is that he was a massive pedo. He got caught for a bit of it, and then while he was like, couldn't get his money out of anything, and then the economy collapsed while all his money was still stuck in stuff.
So one of the kind of mysteries is no one was really sure how he got hired as a teacher, considering he wasn't one.
Yeah.
How he went from a shit kicker to a billionaire, and like no one's really. Is that right? Am I correct in thinking that?
Well, I don't know if it's a huge. I mean, it's not a huge mystery about. It seems like maybe he was just a charismatic guy, and that's how he gets hired as a teacher. And then obviously he's like impressed some parent enough that they've given him a job. The CEO has given him a job as like a. When I say shit kicker, I mean he's doing trades and things.
Yeah,
he's just Wall Streeted his way up
to becoming a billionaire.
Yeah,
and then he pivoted.
Well, we're not sure if he's a billionaire, but there's a lot of people that say he wasn't really a billionaire. I feel like he probably was. He was moving a lot of money around, and it's at a point like maybe he's not a billionaire in that he can't access all of his billions because they're all just in offshore things. He's he's like named in the Panama Papers. He had at least like $500 million in property or something at some point, which is $500 million. It's like you wouldn't put all your money in property.
No. So he became a billionaire.
Becomes a billionaire because he
for whatever.
He works his way up at Bear Stearns, and then he starts his own sort of investment firms. And one of his things was apparently he only dealt with clients that were worth over $1 billion. But that might not be true because no one knows who his clients were. He kept it a secret.
Right.
Which is, I guess, good investment banking. Like if you're going to be doing dodgy investment banking, it's a good strategy. Also, if you're a pedo, it's a good strategy.
Yeah. So then at some point he brand pivots
into being a pedo.
Yeah. Which is I don't think it's a good brand pivot for anyone.
Don't take that as career advice, anyone listening.
No. And he just starts supplying.
Well,
is this what's happened?
A bunch of women have come forward and said that he and Ghislaine Maxwell, who's like his long-time friend, so I think maybe at one point girlfriend, would essentially fly young women out to Little St. James Island, which is where he had a property, and that like his life sort of revolved around sex 24/7.
Right.
But that with like underage or very young women were being taken out to do this.
And in that process, he had the plane called Lolita Express.
Yeah, which should have been a big red flag, I think.
That wasn't the real name for it, though, was it? It wasn't like we're coming into land. Yeah, what's your call sign? Lolita Express.
No, it couldn't possibly have been.
Yeah, right.
But the Lolita Express is where I guess a lot of the conspiracies about an elite ring come from. I mean, I guess also from a bunch of the women involved have said there were other high-profile, influential people involved, including Prince Andrew. But
so Prince Andrew was bloody got a foot massage. The news broke yesterday.
That he got a foot massage.
Someone walked in, and there's a British guy sitting on the couch with two Russian ladies, well-dressed Russian.
Is this
girls,
recently, or when he was at Epstein's house?
At Epstein's house, in his New York apartment, getting a bloody foot massage. And it's like, oh, who's this English fella getting a foot massage, talking about Julian Assange and stuff. And then they're like, oh, it's bloody Prince Andrew getting a little foot massage.
Right.
Which, in the scheme of things, not so bad.
No.
Depends if you're talking to Jules or Vincent.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, can I just make a quick comment on the Tarantino movie?
Yeah.
The current one. You know how he runs like the whole foot thing?
Yeah.
And then people in this one, like there's a lot of feet in this one.
Of course there is.
and like to the point where it's like, it's obvious that Tarantino hears people talking about it, knows that that's his reputation.
Yeah.
And it's just going, all right, you're getting feet.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do a lot of feet gear. But people are like, oh, Tarantino, like, ooh. It's like, no, he's in on it now.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not uncovering some secret foot fetish. Anyway, sorry, that's my take on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Did you see Catherine Keating, Paul Keating's daughter? It's come out she was papped leaving the New York apartment when Prince Andrew was there.
Yeah.
And then there's like all of this nasty stuff about her in the paper.
Such as?
Oh, apparently her nickname is Hubcap because she's always attaching herself to big wheels.
Okay.
That's like what her friends called her.
That's like a socialite like it's some little socialite lingo, which is interesting.
Those are frenemies, Catherine. You need to cut those people out of your life.
Yeah, so he starts doing sex trafficking or procuring young girls for sexual favours for rich people.
Yeah.
The Prince Andrew thing.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to go back to that, or should I drop this in now?
Yeah, drop it in now.
This is just a little Prince Andrew take.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching something on morning TV the other day about it, and it was saying how, these photos of him come out, whatever. And the Buckingham Palace put out a statement that was just, like, really fucking lame. They were just like, we wouldn't ever support anyone like that, and we had certainly had no idea this was going on. But, like, the photo was taken after Epstein had already been done for being a pedo.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, why is he at his house? If he's, unless he's, you think okay, this is me making a big assumption that if you were a royal, you would be very careful with what you did.
Yes.
But obviously, if you're a massive royal pedo, your need for the pedo life probably skews your fucking good judgment of keeping up your royal appearances, that you would go rock up at bloody Epstein's house to get a foot massage from a couple of young little Russian hotties.
Doesn't say they were little. Their size isn't specified.
I'm just assuming.
Yeah. It's a fair assumption.
So for like...
I mean, I feel like if you're Prince Andrew, though, you're pretty anonymous in the US.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I suppose.
If you got out of the private jet into a limo.
He was anonymous to me. When there were photos of him, I was like, who the... Oh, I thought it was like... Who's the super old guy?
Prince
Philip.
Yeah, I was like...
Yeah, that's where I was in that space where I'm like, oh yeah, of course he was involved. He's dodgy as hell.
Yeah.
But no, someone else. And yeah, I don't know who Prince Andrew is. There was one royal that was famous for foot massages. There was a whole foot massage photo scandal in the 90s.
Prince Charles.
Was that Prince Charles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it, or was it Andrew? Because wasn't the Prince Andrew married Fergie, right?
Yeah, it was the Fergie thing, wasn't it? It was the whole...
Because there was the whole fucking... I think it was like something to do with toe-sucking Prince Andrew. And Squizzy was like the nickname that was just going around or whatever. But anyway, if you were like... Here's a...
This is the headline. The toe-sucking photo that drove Sarah Ferguson out of the royal family.
Yeah.
1992... so Prince Andrew, yeah.
I had Prince Charles down in my head as the toe-sucking guy.
Right.
No, he's just the guy.
He gets a bit of that action, surely. Camilla's mad for it.
So Camilla and Fergie both occupy the same mental real estate for me as well.
Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of my point. Like, for most people, particularly a New Yorkian, they've got so many other things on their mind. Yeah. They're in a New York state of mind.
They're walking here.
They're walking there. There's a pizza rat situation going on, and then
there's guys selling hypercolor t-shirts on the street.
But
in 1992, they absolutely would have been.
Isn't it a bit of a like fucking lame response from Buckingham Palace though, to just be like, "Oh, we wouldn't. Yeah, that's terrible." But it's like the member of your family is like seen giving this little fucking coy wave to this youngish-looking girl leaving a convicted pedophile's house.
Yeah.
Way after he was convicted as being a pedophile. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Come down a bit harder on him than that.
But that was Hubcap that he was waving to.
How
Yeah.
old was the hubcap at this point?
In the 20s.
Okay. I guess the Buckingham Palace thing, they kind of built their fortune on slave trade and drug wars.
Yeah.
So like...
She's Lyndon Lawrence.
But like... And, one little pedo indiscretion, like they can just wave that off. You know what I mean? Like...
Surely they should
Prince
be trying.
Philip-
Surely they should be not waving that off though.
Prince
They're like,
Philip-
fucking hell, man! Look at our history. We need to start trying to turn this shit around and reining in these bloody.
But they're like, why? They don't need to. They don't answer anyone really.
Yeah, I suppose
they just get money.
Anyway, so yeah, he I think basically everything was for himself, but he was also getting other people involved. Apparently, the entire all of his properties were completely wired for video and sound, to the end of blackmailing people. Apparently, he had a lot of blackmail content, which I don't think we're ever going to find out about. Although when they did the most recent raid on him, they found tapes that had names written on them.
Ooh. But that's never going to be... I wonder if that's ever going to be made public. Like, is the FBI going, hey, we found those tapes, and yep, Bill Clinton...
Well, I mean, if they've got tapes, I mean, we're not going to find out now, but eventually they might lead to charges. We'll see. Anyway, Jeffrey Epstein, he ends up getting charged. I don't know, was it 10 years ago?
2008?
Yeah, he gets pinged for procuring underage women for sex, and he gets the fucking deal of a lifetime from who is it, Acosta?
Not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. The DA or the prosecutor or whatever is Acosta, who ended up in the Trump administration.
And, sorry, it was 2007.
Yeah. And what's the guy's name? Andrew Acosta? Alex Acosta. So Alex Acosta gives him a fucking pretty good deal. He goes to jail, but it's no jail like you or I would go to. Firstly, he gets let out 13 hours a day to go to work.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
His cell door wasn't locked most of the time. There was everyone who was in charge of guarding him, he was actually paying their salary.
Right.
He was paying the overtime for all of the guards.
Right.
So, which to me...
Was it like they were coming to him for the check at the end of the day, or it was coming out of his bank account, or it was, we're going to fine you for this, you're going to be in jail, and you need to pay X amount to cover your costs while you're in jail because you're a rich guy?
I think maybe a combination. It seemed like a bit of a weird deal. I think it was part of the deal was that he would have to do this, maybe.
Because, quite often when people get, they have to pay legal costs and things like that. If you frame it that way, it doesn't seem sinister. But if you say he was paying the guards, that's very sinister.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. But he had he could take visitors. There was a reception desk for him.
Right.
or something like that.
It's just a little house, little office.
I don't know if you remember in Underbelly when Carl Williams was getting KFC brought in. I'm sure he was...
I don't remember that, but yeah.
I'm sure he was getting one of those gourmet gourmet menu log?
Yeah.
You ever go to a B&B and they're like, oh, we've got this fancy gourmet food delivery. Cut that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, what's the gourmet menu log?
Have you got an underground billionaires menu log that you use?
Don't cut. This is good gear.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to a B&B once.
Bed and breakfast?
Yeah. And they had here's our special gourmet bloody food delivery.
And where was the food delivery coming from?
Not sure.
Gourmet places?
Was this a local B&B?
It was
he lives here. Why would he go to a B&B?
Fucking dirty weekend.
Fair enough.
It was Hanging Rock.
Okay. Well, so it was just the kitchen, or was it coming from off-site?
I think it was coming from off-site, but they were it's all fancy.
So
maybe they specifically just cater or service B&Bs and hotels and stuff.
So do you think it's the same company?
No.
Okay, that was probably okay.
So anyway,
you're gonna turn up in the little black book. People that have ordered the.
And it wasn't that long a sentence either.
Yeah.
It was 13 months maybe. Or no, I'm getting confused with the 13 hours of time out of jail a day. It was a very short sentence and very easy.
Yeah.
And prison for rich people is typically fairly easy. This was the super easy version of it.
So he gets out.
And also there was all this stuff in the deal where I was like, no one, like anyone, I think any co-conspirators were sort of like absolved of any legal issues as part of the deal. It was a weird deal. And the thing is, Acosta, when he was being interviewed to join the Trump administration, one of the questions they asked him was like, is there going to be an issue with the fact that you gave this pedo sweetest prison deal of all time? He's like, well, the reason we did that is because I was told he was intelligence and that it was above my pay grade. And so we don't know who told him that, but yeah, presumably it was pressure from above him in whatever has told him this.
Yeah.
Which is interesting if he was intelligence, because one of the things that's come out when they've arrested him recently and they raided him was they found his Austrian passport, which had a different name in it, but had his like address down in Saudi Arabia and had like stamps from like I think the 80s mainly going around the world.
Philatelist. Oh, stamps as in
the passport.
Yeah, not well stamp collection.
No,
not what I thought.
But that sort of tracks with stuff like he was hired by someone who was in the CIA. That's sometimes how.
I mean, he could just be a rich billionaire that has dirt on people.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When you've got dirt on powerful people, intelligence agencies would find that very interesting. And so they either... I mean, we know the CIA and the FBI ran programs where they blackmailed people with sex tapes. They could have been doing something like that with him, or they could have just been buying the good shit off him.
Okay, so he goes to jail, gets out.
Yep.
Does not put a cap on his pedo ways, it seems.
No.
And,
straight back into being a pedo.
Yeah. And then he gets arrested again.
Yeah, cut to 2019. Eventually, it's like, it's just too much.
Also, there was the reporter in Florida that like really just...
Those pesky bloody reporters wouldn't let it go.
Yeah, and like really pinned him down and kind of forced law enforcement's arm of like, okay, we kind of probably should.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good look if we don't do anything.
Yeah. Everyone knows by this point. And I guess just quick aside, the conspiracy world, Joe Rogan as well, being like, oh, Alex Jones told me this years ago. It's like, yeah, because he's fucking convicted years ago.
Yeah.
This is no secret. No, the conspiracy world wasn't right about this. They just knew about it because it happened.
Yeah.
Not to say, I guess it is a conspiracy, but like they didn't have the secret knowledge. Anyway, carry on.
So he gets arrested, I think it was a couple of months ago, or late July. They find, I think in his safe, like photos of hundreds of underage girls or young women. They find tapes. They find the little black books. And off to jail.
In the clink,
awaiting trial. Where hopefully for the elite, he doesn't start naming names. Luckily for them.
What happens next?
He just commits suicide and no need to worry about it.
So commit suicide. The whole the language now apparently has died by suicide.
Right.
Yeah, I've been corrected
All right.
by writing articles and people are like, no, we don't say that.
Right.
Died by suicide. I don't love it. It's kind of clumsy.
What article are you writing?
I did a mental health article a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm doing a mental health panel coming up soon.
You know what I'd say to those people? Lay off Robbo while he's bloody spilling his guts about mental health.
It's clumsy. It's a clumsy thing to write, died by suicide. Anyway, just a slight aside.
All right. So he is in jail. At first, his cellmate is like the dodgiest corrupt cop of all time. Who calls out to the guards, oh, bloody Epstein's done himself a mischief.
Yeah.
They find him, it's not, Epstein's like, oh, I don't remember what happened. People are suggesting that maybe he had been paid to kill Epstein. Just like, why would you then call the guards? That's like, that's very sloppy.
He's not dodgy bloody Medicare copper.
No. Well, we know that this cop knows how to kill people. That's why he's in jail.
Yeah.
He killed a bunch of his drug dealing mates. So I don't buy that he was paid to kill someone, but then midway through he's like, oh, I don't know.
Just did a moderate amount of damage and then called the guards.
Yeah, killing a bunch of drug dealers that I'm working with is one thing. But killing a massive pedo...
The people are paying me to
kill, that's a step too far.
Halfway through, what am I doing with my life? Guards! Sorry.
So they moved Epstein. He was put on suicide watch.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of different things out there. So he was possibly taken off suicide watch after speaking to a psychologist or psychiatrist, or maybe he wasn't. At any rate, the suicide watch procedures were not followed. He was supposed to be checked in on every 30 minutes. He was supposed to have a cellmate, but they moved that cellmate out. On the night that he died, the guards, one of whom wasn't actually a guard, they were just a employee of the prison because there's a massive guard shortage due to the funding decisions of the Trump administration. They fell asleep, and so for about 3 hours they didn't check in on him, and then they're like, we better just write down that we checked on him. And then they found him hung in his cell.
So he did the method, and I guess this is trigger warning. We get into details of suicide. He did the on your knees and leaning forward, which seems to be that's what a lot of people are doing now. Which is it's a weird thing to say, but Anthony Bourdain.
Talking about asphyxie wanking.
Yeah, well, it's not clear really. Right. But on your knees, you lean forward with the door handle, the noose attached to a door handle, rather than off a roof or whatever.
Well, it's sort of the preferred method in prison because there's not a lot of high hanging points
by design.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is that apparently the last time anyone killed themselves in this prison was 1992 or something. But it was something like 25 years since their last suicide.
Right. God, I envisioned a sign. 25 years since their last suicide, and it's like, nah.
Someone's rubbing it out. All the flip over numbers.
Yeah.
Factors 1.
So
I groaned before I started that because I used to know how, I don't know, how dodgy this territory is.
So the question is, and also, there's supposedly CCTV around the cells, but I don't think there's CCTV into the cells.
No,
but none of that video has come out.
Well, didn't people say that it wasn't working at the time?
Yeah, that's a shame.
But and I kind of work on the theory because people quite often say this about CCTV. Oh, the cameras are off. I feel like CCTV is probably prone to breaking a lot. It's running 24/7, not being monitored all the time, or stopping and starting every time there's movement or whatever. I feel like that's a system that's just got too many breakpoints that's not being checked enough.
Jeez Louise, what a massive apologist for the CCTV industry. So there's been an autopsy where they concluded that he had died by suicide. But they also said that he had, I think it was the hyroid bone in his neck was broken. Now, a lot of people are saying that that's more consistent with being strangled than with hanging. I looked up a bunch of studies. A bunch of people have done studies on this specific thing. And all of their results are different. Yeah. So we'll go with the Aussie study.
Okay. True blue studies around here.
A true blue, I think it was Adelaide study.
Yeah.
Where I think they only looked at 19 cases though. But something like about 50% of the cases had this bone was broken during the hanging. And the chance of it being broken went up as the person hanging was older.
So my granddad died by suicide, and that was that bone that he broke. So when I saw that in conspiracy things no way, I'm like, well, actually, I know that it's a thing.
Yeah,
and the study proves it.
I saw a lot of people being like, no, there's absolutely no way it's 100% strangling.
So is this the bone that breaks when they hang people?
Yeah.
That snaps and severs their spinal cord?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's that bone?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not so much the strangulation, the cutting off the airway, that's the
snapping.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Gives me the hibby-jibbers. Sorry.
So.
But then if you're on your knees doing it through the doorknob method, if that doesn't have enough force to break that, I think is what other people are saying.
Yeah.
He's an old man.
Yeah. Probably hasn't been drinking enough milk.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't know his calcium situation.
No. Anyway, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, everyone...
Names aren't going to be named.
No.
Fingers aren't going to be pointed.
I guess...
Unless when they raided, they found all the tapes.
Yeah.
And there's co-conspirators that they could still charge and get some names off.
Yeah.
Like this Ghislaine Maxwell character.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I've seen with people cooking up conspiracy theories about the death is that, I mean, one person I saw was like, he had no reason to kill himself. It's like, he had the most reason of anyone.
Twice convicted, instantly recognisable to a lot of the Western world pedophile.
He wasn't in bloody 13 hours at work a day jail.
Yeah.
He was in proper jail now.
A lot of the conspiracies say that he's still alive.
Okay, let's get into some cooked gear.
Do we want to pause? We just want to go. Let's play on through, eh? Pause. I'd like to refresh my water glass.
Yeah.
All right. Could we pause more elegantly than that?
So since he's died, let's get cooked with it.
Well, yeah. So where do we leave off?
Well, so he's died, and
Or has he?
Well, the thing, let's just say that he has died, and then,
Wow. Okay. Very convenient. Gets Cam ploughing on through any other theory.
But let's just say he has died. In the mainstream, it's like people don't believe that he killed himself.
Yeah.
It's especially because of the way they released the information. Like, we just plowed through, they're asleep. One of them wasn't a guard. Blah blah. blah. It came out in such weird dribs and drabs where it was like...
Well, they're not going to put all that in a press release, though, are they?
Well, it's like... But, yeah, I know. 'Cause it's the sort of thing where they're like, all right, how are we going to handle this? And it seems like the way that they decided to handle it is like, let's put out a little bit of information, let people process it, and then maybe when they're like, all right, I could sort of accept that happening, let's fucking hit them with another one.
Because the narrative essentially was, he's been put on suicide watch. Or hit suicide.
Yeah.
And even people that I've never seen mention anything about any conspiracy theories before are posting online going, what?
Yeah.
He killed himself while he was on suicide watch? Huh? How does this happen? Whoa, hang on. It's like, you guys bought into this really quickly, didn't you?
Well, like it's that's I guess that's it at the top. Like it's just open up your local newspaper and you're going to get conspiracies about it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not going to name drop, but I know some
Cam wants to name drop
I know.
so hard.
It's better be a big name after this build up.
No, I'm not going to name drop.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to position drop. I know some people who you wouldn't expect to be like this. Who are like, what the fuck is going on? And they call it being Epstein brained. And I've got a massive case of it.
Yeah. So can you lay out what's your like?
I think he killed himself though.
You think he did?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's tricky. If he's alone in a cell, so
see, here's the thing though, right? The story is he died by suicide, right? As soon as you start saying, but did he? Are you not then like, but what actually happened? Was it fucking powerful people that wanted him killed? Are you automatically just putting yourself with all the people who are massive conspiracy nutbags?
Well, yeah. To say that he was murdered, you have to say, all right, these guys weren't just asleep. Like they've been paid to look the other way.
Yeah. So already we've got 2 people involved.
Yeah.
3, because someone had to pay them.
Yeah. And then someone has to go in and do it. But it's not just that you've got to get past these 2 guards. You've got to get someone into the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's someone who's already in there. So you've got at least 3 people involved now, which is a lot of people for like the most high profile murder
and
of
also,
the 21st century.
Also, 2 of those people, it's being pinned on them.
Yeah.
You were asleep, you idiot. You should have been better at your job.
Yeah. But they'll be fine. If they get fired, they'll be taken care of.
Well, yeah, maybe they're... I mean, I've never seen them, so maybe they don't even exist.
Die in a... Look, if those guys die in a car accident in the next 12 months, I'll be like, all right, I'll change my mind.
And I guess in a prison, if you're a corrupt prison system, surely it's not going to be hard to find another prisoner to off another prisoner. Especially like you get bloody nobody fucking white power Bill or whatever to go murder high profile pedo Epstein.
Yeah, you shouldn't have any trouble finding someone to knock off a pedo in prison.
Yeah, and then even if you need to knock off fucking White Power Bill next week, no one knows who White Power Bill is. So that's not going to make the headlines, is it?
I love White Power Bill's got dirty ears from Arrested Development.
He's got what? Dirty
ears? He's like Job's in prison, and he's like, what's that behind your ear? Is it dirt? And he pulls out as a coin, but then like this other guy's like, White Power Bill's got dirty ears. Hey, everyone. And that's why he stabs Job.
Right.
Sorry, carry on.
So, back to the murder discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also the other end of it is that there's, some incredibly powerful person pulling the strings. So you are getting into that territory.
Yeah.
I guess something we missed before was, so Lolita Express is this plane. One of the controversies around this plane, which hopefully had a different call sign, that was just their fun nickname for it, was that he gave flights to like a lot of high profile people, including the Clintons. Bill Clinton.
While Clinton was in power.
Yeah.
One misconception, and this is going to be seen as defending the Clintons weirdly, but, in the sake of accuracy, a lot of people say on the conspiracy forums and everything that Bill Clinton was going to Lolita Island, on the Lolita Express. He wasn't in the flight logs. He was going to like dodgy African countries.
Yeah.
Still dodgy.
To do Clinton Foundation stuff.
Yeah.
Which was also probably dodgy.
Yeah.
The thing though with Clinton is that he said that I took 4 trips on the plane and I had the Secret Service every time. But apparently there's logs that show that he was travelled on the plane many more times than that.
If there is one thing we know about Bill Clinton, he's a fibber.
This is true.
But he also likes to use his position of power to get sexual favours.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say blowjobs.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
But he also, if these other logs are to be believed, not every time he travelled was with the Secret Service. Also, the Secret Service, like, famously sometimes dodgy.
Yeah.
When they were like, he was with the Secret Service the whole time, I was like, so what?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So dies by suicide.
Yeah.
Maybe not, maybe. No one's sure. No one knows.
We're never going to know.
Yeah. I think he probably did. But, I mean, that's because I just always take the easiest explanation in these things. I don't want to entertain the conspiracy when I don't see any evidence otherwise.
There's also stuff like he changed his will a couple of days earlier.
Yeah.
It's
something someone would do.
If they, I don't know. It's something you'd do if you're planning on getting murdered as well, though.
fair point.
Like, number one, I'm going to cut any potential murders out. Step one, I'm of sound mind and body. Anyone who murders me doesn't get anything.
I haven't really been paying attention to this whole thing for the reasons I've said. This is the news. Like, conspiracies are a fun escape from the real world. This is the real world.
All right. Let's get super cooked now.
Yeah, well, what dragged me into this, kicking and screaming, was that frickin' photo, or the 3 photos of, what's her name?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Who incidentally is the daughter of Robert Maxwell, who also died in mysterious circumstances.
He fell off his boat or something, right?
Well,
And was washed up in...
He went off his yacht, and they're like, I think the coroner's report was like, it wasn't suicide or murder. Like, it must have just been a heart attack or something.
I think, he died of a heart attack subsequent to drowning.
Yeah. But completely nude at the time.
Okay.
When they found him.
Oh, man, if I was in a yacht by myself sailing around to some nice places, I'd be nude so much. I'd just immediately nude up. No one around, fucking nude in it.
Also, after he died, they discovered that like he'd been massively embezzling the pension fund of the company he ran, and it's a huge thing. Also, the basis for the media mogul character from, is it Tomorrow Never Dies?
I don't know.
I think it was one of the Pierce Brosnan ones. The one where
the one where he surfs down a tidal wave using like the door of an airplane. This, I turned it on. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but I turned it on television one day. I was like, a normal James Bond movie, and then he surfs down like a ridiculous fake tidal wave on the door of an airplane. I'm like, this is, and I think he uses like a parachute to like steer while he's going down.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It was upsettingly just how bad it was.
Anyway, this was the Pierce Brosnan one where the villain is a media mogul who's is trying to start a war in the South China Sea because that'll be good for ratings.
Yeah.
And when he dies, M is like, well, let's just say he fell off his yacht.
Right.
So he was also apparently linked to Mossad.
Yeah.
Some journo was Seymour Hersh.
So this
hard on that.
This photo appears in the New York Post of Ghislaine.
Yeah, so Ghislaine Maxwell is like the longtime partner of Jeffrey Epstein. She's been accused by a bunch of the people accusing Epstein of being involved. They say either she was the one who was like actually getting them to go out there, or some of the accusations are that she was very actively involved in the whole thing.
She's referred to as his madam.
Yeah.
That's right.
So after he dies, people are like, all right, where's Ghislaine? Because there's some question about whether she could be charged with things, for one thing. And the Daily Mail reports that she is on the East Coast of the United States with her new boyfriend, who's like some tech billionaire. She's got a type.
Bloody, they say that other one's a hubcap.
So then the New York Post publishes, it's not like a direct response, but I think it's in response to this Daily Mail story. They published this story, Ghislaine Maxwell, who hasn't been seen in years, spotted at In-N-Out Burger in Hollywood, California, the Universal City location on Cahuenga Boulevard.
We know this because we fucking looked way too much into it.
Yeah, so she's spotted allegedly by a passerby. This is how the story starts.
Yeah.
Someone stops her and says, are you Ghislaine
like,
Maxwell?
Are you who I think you are? She's like, yeah.
That's me.
That's me.
Guess I need to...
Guess I've got to stop coming to this In-N-Out Burger on Cahuenga Boulevard.
yeah. Which is like, there were quotes in the first story. They've since been removed. But the first story had these quotes effectively to what we've just said. And then there's a candid photo where she's looking somewhat surprised.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 very posed photos.
So in the story though, so they had this candid photo where she's like, huh?
Yeah.
Then they had this other photo where she's taking her glasses off and she's sort of posing for the photo a little bit. And then I think there was a third photo that wasn't in the actual story.
Yeah.
That people found by like looking at the file names of the other 2 photos. It was like Ghislaine Maxwell 1, Ghislaine Maxwell 2. And someone was like, what if I just typed in Ghislaine Maxwell 3?
Yeah.
And they found this other photo.
Right.
So the other thing is she's reading a book. And the book is about like the CIA.
So that's another thing. That's what the original story said.
Yeah.
It's like something CIA covert murder.
Yeah,
something.
the lives and deaths of CIA martyrs or something.
That's what the story said, but like at no point in the photos can you see the book, the cover. So where did that come from?
Yeah.
It's not clear. So the photos were allegedly taken by a stranger. People noticed a sign in the background of one of them.
Wait, well, before we get to the sign.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get bogged down in these details, who she is and
People
that.
didn't know, because the sign wasn't the thing that people noticed.
Right.
What people noticed was that there were 2 cups.
Yeah.
She's supposedly dining alone.
Yeah.
And she's got these 2 cups. And so people started theorizing about that. Because also she had like some weird rings on. There's a lot of talk about like the meaning of all of the symbology of everything in these photos. Like that gets really cooked.
Yeah.
But she's got... The story said she was eating alone with her dog, reading a book about CIA martyrs.
Yeah.
And people are like, why are there 2 cups on the table?
Yeah.
There's also 2 phones.
Yeah, and there are 2 phones on the table.
And there's 2 trays.
And there's a tray of food on the table and one on the bench.
Yeah.
And the burger's not eaten. It's just been sitting there. And if I'm like eating fast food burger, the first thing I'm doing is eating the burger.
Yeah, because...
I eat the fries first.
Oh my God, you are a savage.
I can smash the fries first. Because they're going to go cold quicker.
The burger, you don't want your burger going cold.
Do you believe this state of that?
I would open my burger, have a bite, have a fry, have a bite.
Yeah.
Fry.
Yeah.
Got to compartmentalize those 2 things.
All right.
Fries, smashed. Burger, smashed.
So here's the thing, right? In the first 2 photos, you can only...
Addis, what do you eat first, your burger or your fries?
This is going to be like... There's all these dumb things that takes off and suddenly like all the, the age is writing about it.
Yeah.
So, in the photos, you can see, 2 phones, 2 cups. You can see a little bit of the dog.
Yeah.
In the 3rd photo, you can see the full dog.
The dog. Yeah.
I saw one theory that was like, the story says she's got a dog, but you can't see a dog. It's like, no, you can see a little bit of fluffiness.
Yeah, the dog's behind her on the ground.
By her feet, all right?
Yeah.
They're like, why are there 2 cups? And then all of these like skeptics are like, well, it's In-N-Out Burger with their delicious shakes.
Yeah.
You would get a soda in the green cup, or in the red cup, and you get your shake in the green cup.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Have a shake for dessert.
I even saw some... Like, this is, like, getting really annoyingly skeptical. Because there's... in my opinion, not enough people commenting on the fact there were 2 trays.
Right.
They're all getting hung up on the cups. But I saw one dickhead explaining the 2 trays. They're like, well, if you look up In-N-Out, you'll see that they have a menu for dogs.
Cam.
And so maybe this tray that she's got sitting down...
I knew he was going here with this.
On the seat.
This is what I said.
Okay.
Maybe she's gotten a burger for herself, and she's also gotten some food for her dog.
Yeah.
And that's why there's 2 trays. So imagine how what an absolute douchebag you'd have to be to try to explain it away like that.
So hang on, do they have a...
Yeah.
Okay. They wouldn't use the same trays though.
Why not?
The dog trays would be different coloured. There would be a bowl.
Well, you wouldn't you don't fucking put the tray on the ground for the dog to eat off of. You just put the food on the tray to give,
Nah.
Here's your fucking...
Because is it dog food? Like is it a dog-based burger? Not made out of dog, but like for dogs in terms of like...
it would just be
a loaf patty, or is it actually just one of their burgers?
Some of their food.
Okay.
Surely they would need to be a much bigger and much more elaborate operation if they were cooking dog food and human food in the same kitchen. They'd need 2 separate kitchens.
I mean, they've got a dog menu.
The restaurant would be fucking huge.
They've got a dog menu.
You go to a cafe and get a bloody puppuccino. All they do is put a bunch of milk froth in a cup and give it to you to give to your dog.
That's not a thing, is it?
Yes, it is.
It has a name.
Puppuccino?
When did this start?
Ages ago.
Oh my God, what are we doing?
Any cafe where you can take your dog.
Do dogs like steamed
2
milk?
lattes and a bloody puppuccino, thanks.
Do dogs like steamed milk?
Yeah, it's the same as a baby chino. I think they just give you...
It's just froth.
Yeah, like, I mean, babies are idiots. They're just going to eat froth, but dogs are intelligent. We know this.
Dogs want a bit of sweetened milk.
Okay, no, fair enough. They do eat anything, and they live on the ground. So,
and I think it's just like, here's a patty and some shit. Give it
all
to
right,
your dog.
all right, cool. I still think maybe they'd use different trays. So. I don't know.
Anyway,
there's no point going that far to separate them if you're not having 2 separate kitchens.
Well, just like a signified. Hey, don't eat that one. That's for the dog. Don't get confused.
Maybe they've got a special fit of paper that they wrap the dog burgers in that has a little bone on it.
Yeah, maybe that's cute.
There you go.
All right.
Anyway, it's all immaterial.
Yeah. Anyway, Cam just massively dogged and burned me. Fucking.
So, I guess the Daily Mail is in like a rivalry with the New York Post now because they're like, hang on, you guys are saying our story about her being on the East Coast isn't right.
Yeah.
Let's go out and check this out. So they head out to the location on Cahuenga Boulevard, and they notice that the bus stop sign that you can see in the background of the photo is not the same as the sign that's in the bus stop now. So they call up the outdoor advertising company, and they say, "What ad were you running on this date that this photo was supposedly taken?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "The same one that's running now. It's like an ad for a hospital." And you can see, like in the Google Street View photos, like from like a month ago, you can see they were running like a different ad for this hospital.
Right.
There's always a little local hospital ad in this thing. And they're like, "We've never run an ad for the Seth Rogen movie Good Boys," which is what you can see in the background of the photo.
A movie about dogs?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie about
some boys.
Some boys.
Okay.
Looks pretty funny.
Yeah. We've never run an ad for that in that location. So, the outdoor advertising person says, "I think that's been photoshopped."
Yeah.
And it's like, has it though? Because it looks really real. There's a reflection of a passing car.
Yeah.
In the
usually, if you look close enough at something, you can tell it's been photoshopped. The grain across the whole photo is consistent with the poster. It looks like it's from in the same shot.
And this started nutsing people out, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, okay. Well, no, because I'm like, all right, has maybe the bus, like the outdoor advertising people, maybe they got it wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, it's clearly not photoshopped, right? Like, it's so well done if it is.
Yeah.
And then, Robbo, you were like, hang on a second. Have you noticed something strange about all of these photos? They're like so badly photoshopped all through. All of them have like bad photoshopping on them.
And weird, different, like seemingly unnecessary Photoshop. So the first one we saw, things were blurred.
Yeah. The first thing I noticed was the Good Boys poster. There's a low res version of the photo and a higher res version of the photo that's not been cropped down, so it's got the full angle of view. And the Good Boys poster is on that, but the word "good" is slightly thinner looking and a bit faded compared to Boys.
Yeah.
But on the other one, they're both the same line weight,
Yeah.
which is how
but
they actually are on
those
the
are two
poster.
different angles photos, though. So, like...
I thought it was the same one.
Nah. So, one of the photos with her and her glasses on, candidly, it's, I think, heavy font. And the other one with her posing with the... which is the high res one, that's the lighter font. Or vice versa.
Right,
but
right,
yeah, it's two different photos, but the font weights look different.
Yeah.
But the reason is because someone's gone over it.
Someone's gone over it with a blur tool.
Yeah.
And softened the word "good" for some reason.
And there's also, like, they cropped out, like they took out a restaurant sign across the road.
Well, so one of them, the restaurant sign is blurred.
Yeah.
So it's possible there's some...
algorithmic blurring going on.
Yeah, add on that's like blur all words in a photo for whatever reason. Because every sign, and there's quite a few street signs and stuff around, has some blur on it, except for the cannabis dispensary sign.
Yeah.
That's pretty crisp. Which is weird in itself, but anyway. Then the other one of the signs in the background for a pizza restaurant that was blurred is cloned over and is not there.
Yeah.
So they've done a cut and paste. They've done a reasonable job. You know, if you looked at it...
If you glanced at it, you wouldn't notice.
Even if you stared at it, you probably wouldn't notice. There's maybe one line that looks too straight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a pretty good job.
Yeah.
It's not clear why
Yeah.
why someone's done a reasonable job of cloning that out.
Yeah, cloning out bloody Maselli's family restaurant and their shithouse sign.
Yeah.
I thought that restaurant had to be out of business.
Yeah.
When you look at like the reviews,
right,
people love it in there.
Right.
So,
it's just old style LA Italian family restaurant cooking.
Yeah,
pizza and red sauce.
Yeah.
So that's what we noticed, and then other people started noticing it as well.
And there's also this third photo that they got where
then we saw the third photo within like a couple of hours that came out.
Yeah. And that has like the most badly done cloning. So it's a side-on photo and it almost looks like she's being pasted into it, but I think they've just... There's a bin behind her, and maybe they're like, let's crop out the bin, but they've just sort of clone stamped it.
The brick wall.
Yeah. So like the brick wall's really dodgy. There's the lid of the bin is still there.
Yeah.
They've done like a white smudge over it for some reason. Her back, and look these up because it'll blow your mind how bad it is. Her back has got like concrete randomly sticking out of it, where they just kind of like done a clone tool or a patch over it. It's gone. So like, there's no smooth contour to her back and the brick wall. There's random concrete in there. There's a grey void in the bottom corner where like it's not clear what that is.
Yeah, I think there's a gap in the wall there. There's a car driving past, but there's this weird
grey void,
grey bit of nothing. Yeah.
So yeah, lots of just bizarre Photoshop things.
So
like,
are we saying potentially 3 different Photoshoppers based on their skill levels?
One is algorithm.
You've got this dodgy Photoshopper. You've got the guy that's taken out the sign, and you've got the person who's put the reflection of the car in,
and the concrete wall.
So you've got the 2 guards and the killer. It's 3 people again.
Yeah. So like, it's already weird enough. Her at an In-N-Out Burger, New York Post saying someone spotted her posing for photos. Okay, that's weird, but whatever, we can accept that in 2019. Then you start looking at the Photoshops and the bad version of the Photoshops. None of it makes sense.
And it's just weird because the longer you looked at it, I found the more little dumb things I found, like blurred out. Like all the signs, it's like there's like a little strip mall across the road down the street, and you wouldn't have even been able to read very well what was in the shop, but they're still blurred out, like the signs of the name of the little shops and everything.
Yeah.
So there were 2 sort of theories about what was going on here. One was that, the main theory is that this whole thing is staged. And it was either to send a message. So you had this Good Boys thing in the background. Maybe there was some sort of message being sent with her jewellery choices.
The trash was cloned out.
Yeah.
So like the trash is no longer there.
Yeah.
The trash has been taken out.
And the CIA book as well.
The CIA book. The dog on a lead, and the lead was kind of draped over the seat, like almost like a noose, was one thing I saw.
But then the other explanation is that this is something that has been planted in the press to say that she is at this specific location at a specific time when she is not. Probably just to take the heat off her tech billionaire boyfriend where she actually is.
There's also the fact that she was, the idea that maybe she did it to like make her look a little bit normal, not like a crazy, shady madam who's like, she goes to the burger place and reads a book with a dog. She's just like your eye.
Oh, it doesn't really work when you like a couple of days after like your long-term pedophile friend dies, you're reading a book about the CIA alone at a burger restaurant. It's not that relatable. So I was really annoyed because I used all my Bellingcat skills that I learned on this. I was like looking up dashcam footage of Cahuenga Boulevard, trying to work out when this photo was actually taken, looking at like people's Instagram posts from the restaurant.
Yeah.
I worked out that the photo was definitely taken within this last year. So there's signs in January that are different. You can see that they've changed since then.
If the Good Boys ad was legit, then it would have had to have been quite recent, right?
Yeah, it would have basically had to be when they said.
So like the Good Boys sign was supposed to go up, was supposed to be up in that bus stop, but apparently it never did, or something like that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. They're like, we've never had that ad there.
Right.
It's not booked. It's not booked in. My thing is that maybe it was supposed to be there, and like the guy. Like maybe we've seen that sometimes paperwork can be forged.
Yeah.
That was over like a suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could imagine the guy who's supposed to put up the poster being like, oh shit, I fucking forgot I put the wrong poster in. Better get out there and put the hospital one back in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and that Good Boys thing is probably the least interesting part of it for me. Like, it looks like it's there. It seems like bureaucracy or someone stuffed up.
Yeah.
But why is the frickin' pizza sign out? What is the reason of that?
But if the Good Boys thing has been photoshopped in, and they've done such a good job of it, it means that someone with some technical skill has done it.
Yeah.
Well, I did see someone like I photoshopped. They put up a photo of it, and they're like, "This is one I photoshopped in like 2 minutes, and it looked exactly the same."
Yeah. So it wouldn't be that hard, I guess, if you know what you're doing. I could do it probably.
But we've also seen that someone working on these photos doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
So anyway, the other thing I did was I looked at the EXIF data on the photos.
Yeah.
And there was one of the other things that was in the conspiracy circles was like these candid photos supposedly taken on a phone, but they're clearly not taken on a phone. You can tell by the focus and blah, 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 the depth of field. It's like, well, no one said it was on a phone, and it is like in Hollywood. People walk around with cameras.
Just in case you see a star.
Yeah.
A Johnny Depp.
Which you might do in Universal City on Cahuenga Boulevard.
Definitely.
But you could see in the EXIF data that it was taken like on an old Canon digital camera.
By her... And am I leaping ahead?
This is the thing. In one of the photos, it had like information in the author field. It was like Meadowbank Entertainment. I was so close to working this out, but I got beaten by 4chan and then the Daily Mail. People looked up Meadowbank Entertainment and they found that there was a company called that belonged to Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer. And they found Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer, and they found pictures of her dog, and the dog is the dog that is in the photo.
Yeah. So her lawyer's taking these... Lawyer / probably friend, if she's doing this. I don't think like that's a thing you bring your lawyer up for. Can you badly Photoshop some pics for me? It's going to cost you a lot more than if you got a designer out of college, but I'll do it. So yeah, her lawyer did it. Lawyer / friend. Took the photos. The original story said it was a passerby.
Yeah.
So they took the photos, gave them to the New York Post.
Yeah, well, they sold them to a photo agency.
Right. And the New York Post, let's be clear, is cooked.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cooked publication. So she's probably got friends or they're connected somehow. New York, Epstein, her. It's all tied in.
Anyway.
So... Why?
Why
the bad Photoshop? Why take the sign out? Like, this is what's cooking my brain about this whole thing.
Yeah. My first thought was maybe maybe whatever photo agency they sold it to just has a thing where they run an algorithm over their photos to take out advertisements, but business names, because it's like, hey, you're not paying to be in our fucking photo that we're going to sell to all the papers. You're not going to get any publication from us.
That's weird, though.
It is weird.
Publicity, not publication.
So the blurring part would be that algorithm.
Yeah.
Fine. I can accept that.
Yeah.
It's strange, but I accept it.
But
then once you get photoshopping things out, what? And I'm stuck on that. I really can't move past it in this whole story. This is what's cooking my brain.
You're going to have to move past it.
Okay, so we've talked about the photo.
Yeah.
Anything more to add on the photos?
It's just weird.
Go look them up, because you're probably not going to believe how bad they look until you find them.
Oh, do you know what else was weird? The book that she's supposedly reading, the most recent Amazon review for it was by a G. Maxwell. But it was clearly someone who'd read the story and was doing a bit.
Yeah, okay,
I think it was clearly that. No, here's the thing though, right?
Good tips in this book.
Yeah.
Thanks. It was like, a friend of mine recently passed and this reading this book has really helped me.
It's great. That's good gear.
That's a good bit.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, this was not like their first review.
Right.
They had heaps of reviews going back a while, including books about sex trafficking.
What the fuck?
With the same name, G. Maxwell?
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if...
the reviews are obviously dated, so they date...
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know if it's they've just changed the name to G. Maxwell.
And it's propagated through all the...
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But then, it's a long bit they've started doing. Because they started making sex trafficking jokes.
No, I don't think those were jokes. I think those were legitimate reviews. It was some erotica or romance novel that had a sex trafficking subplot.
Right.
That they'd reviewed.
Okay. And they had other reviews of For All the Light We Cannot See, the award-winning book. Do they have reviews for things like that?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's a book. It's just the first book I thought of. Do they have reviews of a Hemingway book or something?
Weird? What a weird book to pick out.
They're like The Hobbit.
Yeah, Moby Dick.
Yeah, I need
War and Peace.
Yeah.
So, That's the photos.
I'm really hung up on these Amazon reviews now.
Yeah.
If I was doing that meme of that Indian guy that Kent is no longer his best friends, I'd be like, Luke is now best friends with Amazon reviews. Photo no longer friends.
But let's move on.
It's a new trend, just audibly describing memes.
That's great.
So,
This is the meme. Car going down the highway, sign photos, offshoot.
Yeah.
Amazon reviews, Robbo doing a burnout down the offshoot.
Yeah. Cam, you gonna have a go?
So, the photos, Vince McMahon looking interested.
Yeah. No, to be Jeffrey Epstein, Vince McMahon looking interested.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell photo. Ooh. That little look that he's got.
And then I think I want for Vince McMahon looking incredibly surprised, the Jeffrey Epstein ghost tape.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to hear about the Jeffrey Epstein ghost tape?
Yeah, let's move on to some more cookage.
Yeah, so I was like, obviously I'm not going to read CNN for Hypothepod. We're better than that. Well, we're not, but whatever. So I looked up Jeffrey Epstein ghost, and I happened to find someone that contacted his ghost.
All right.
I can't remember what model of ghost contacting device they were using, but basically it was flicking through radio stations quickly backwards.
Yeah, it was a ghost box voice thing.
Yeah.
But it's a backwards one.
Well, no, it wasn't playing them back because it was going like, he did a reverse thing for some reason, where it started at like 120 and went back to 0.
All right.
Let me just bring up where did I put it?
This is the ones that are like chick, 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 chick. Oh, chick, 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 chick. Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's yeah. Where are we? So,
and this is that strange technology where if you play a bunch of things where people are talking, somehow you might be able to hear words.
Yeah.
So this is from Charlie Chittenden Paranormal, the YouTube channel. Just with one comment before we move on, below the video, someone said, so if he was guilty, I would assume he's in hell. Charlie, do you worry about inviting evil spirits when contacting someone like this?
Does Charlie reply?
No, Charlie does not reply. I think Charlie should probably think about that.
You should be worried.
Anyway,
unless he brings up one that joins the good guys and becomes a force for good and a paranormal investigator.
Yeah.
So he says, bring forward the spirit of convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. He kind of hammers that home when he's trying to reach out to the spirits, which I don't think that's a way to get Jeffrey Epstein on your side, is highlighting his pedo stuff. You say, hey, buddy, you know.
Yeah.
Reaching out to a fucking billionaire.
Yeah, let's have a chat. But he's really like, hey, pedo, get here. I wouldn't think, if I was in the afterlife and someone did that, like calling out why I'd be like, nah, I'm not.
Yeah, and this is also, let's be clear, this is not he's not doing any sort of summoning ritual.
No.
This is, a thing where you're asking for the ghost to come forward. You're asking, you're not telling.
Yeah. So he says, what do you want to tell us? And this is the little snippets. That did not sound like anything, as we know. It's just snippets of radio voices. But this is what they translated on the screen for us as it happened. Say I don't. Caused me. Hardship. Dudes. Own it. Got drunk. Have my death. See? Just not really anything. The words got drunk, have my death is something, maybe. Then killer, he's still here, snap up, I went rigid. Press still, sit, yeah, the problem is her. And then he says, you've been attending parties with Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Are you being punished in the afterlife for your actions? Which is a weird, it's saying are you being punished for having parties with Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, which isn't a crime.
No.
It's the pedo shit.
Yeah.
But he then asks them, are you being punished for that? Died. They hunted. Bill Clinton was one of them.
Whoa.
And then he says, what caused you to behave this way? Pain. My dad, Charlie, is here.
Charlie Sheen?
I think he's just saying cocaine, I'm assuming. Charlie
Charles
is here.
Manson.
Or Charles Manson.
It's just down the bloody, just down the road in hell.
Anyway, at this point, we're about 4 minutes into the interview with Jeffrey Epstein's ghost. We're uncovering some juicy gear. Bill Clinton was one of them. It was pretty juicy.
Yeah, that's good.
So Charlie Chittenden Paranormal says, "All right, Jeffrey, I'm going to go now. I'd like to thank you for your communication, although I won't say I wish you any respect because that would be entirely inappropriate. Although I will say goodbye as a means of ending this session." So he's 4 minutes into this interview where he's uncovering Bill Clinton goss from the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein. He's like, all right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
I've got more important stuff to do with my time.
Yeah. You're a dick catcher.
Yeah. Also, I'm not going to say it was a pleasure, but I'm going to say goodbye. This is how we cut off our communication with the spirit world. What is this guy doing?
Yeah. He's playing spiritual Russian roulette by the sounds of it. Yeah, you can't.
If I know, I've interviewed a lot of people as my job. 4 minutes, not enough to get the good gear.
No.
And he got some good gear in 4 minutes. Keep poking at the edges, buddy. You'll find something else.
And you can't put a call in to hell and be a dick.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Jeffrey Epstein's not going to be on the line. It's going to be bloody Baal getting into you.
Because those calls are monitored for quality assurance purposes.
Yeah. Oh, so that was the ghost. That was the only ghost gear I found. It was pretty good ghost gear. I was pretty happy with it. Found some body language gear of someone on the Fox News talking about it. It's just trash.
What was their take on the person on Fox News talking about it though? What insights were they deriving from?
It wasn't clear.
A news anchor talking about it.
I really gave up on it because it's they started off with they described because this guy was muscular. He was a muscular pundit, and they said, before we start, realize that this guy's muscular, so he's going to move differently to a skinny person.
Right.
Things that a body language expert would be quite adept at pointing out, I guess. And then they said he takes in a deep breath at the start. He doesn't let it out. He's going to be talking a lot. At this point, I was like, I don't care. This is not good gear. So then I jumped onto the horoscope. Oh no, I jumped onto a tarot reading.
Yep.
The first tarot card she pulled was a picture of people, maybe 6 or 7 people with swords in an old timey, fight scene.
Right. So we've gone from 3 people involved in this murder to 7.
Well, the tarot reader says, pull this card. She says
she doesn't say that this represents people stabbing.
She says, it's a lot of people fighting. I'm going to put that one back.
All right.
You can't. That's a shit one.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. I feel like that could be a relevant one. You could, if I'm a tarot reader, I'm spinning that to so many. There's content in that card.
Wasn't one of the ghost words fighting?
It was. That is true.
It's all coming together.
And then I went to.
I do prefer that to the most basic bitch tarot reading. If they pulled out death, they're like, well, he's died.
There
you go. But they put out there's multiple people were involved. Yeah. They're like the tower while he was in jail.
Yeah.
Then I looked at the horoscope of Jeffrey Epstein. It wasn't good at all. It was boring. I lasted 30 seconds.
I thought you meant it wasn't good as in things look dark for you this week.
No.
Watch out for ropes.
But the notable thing about the horoscope of Jeffrey Epstein, and this is probably more for our YouTube channel Eats and Drinks, which you should check out for good recipes, 105,000 views.
Right.
Right.
That is a lot of views for the quality of that content being very, very poor.
Time to pivot, boys.
Yeah. And to be honest, there is no... we talk about the vacuum of no information, and then so all the cooked stuff just fills that vacuum. The vacuum's filled with just normal, maybe it's a conspiracy, and it's everywhere. So there's nowhere for the cooked stuff to get in.
Yeah.
You get one ghost thing. One. It's just, Anyway. Jeffrey Epstein.
Did you have anything else?
No, that's it. Because it's just, I don't know, if you want the rest, buy the rights. How bizarre.
I come across one comment on a thread about all Jeffrey Epstein and his bad shit, which was look up the Royal...
The Royal Jester Society?
Order of the Jesters. I was like, ooh, what's this? So I looked it up, and it's the Royal Order of the Jesters is the elite arm of the Shriners. I was like, what the fuck is the Shriners? The Shriners is an offshoot of the Freemasons. I was like, fucking hell, this is going to go, what's all this about? But I was just like, couldn't find anything. Like Robbo said, there's like, I can find a lot about them, but nothing really about how this all links together.
The Shriners ones with the little cars? Or maybe this is just
You're thinking of the ballet.
Or a circus, where the clowns all get out of it.
No. I'm thinking that they've got little fezzes.
Yeah, the Shriners that wear fezzes.
Yeah, and they drive around in little cars, but this might be crafted by popular culture.
I feel like you're still thinking of clowns.
A friend of mine...
Clowns don't drive in little cars. They drive in normal cars, but there's just more people in the car than there should be.
Clowns
small.
also have small cars. Both. I think both things are true, but the small cars is definitely a clown thing.
Yeah. A small car and like 100 clowns get out of it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing, and then there's also the small... Like, they have multiple car gags. Clowns are not relying on one car gag.
Yeah.
It's one thing that we know. Can't believe he's looking it up.
Yeah.
Like we're... Jeez.
But the Shriners and the Royal Order of the Jesters are all like Freemason arms that are like... All right, there you go. Shriners driving around little cars.
Oh, wait, is that the Dead Kennedys cover? There's a Dead Kennedys album that has them on the cover.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that explains it a lot. Yeah.
But they're all about having fun. They're like the fun Freemason arm. They're all about fun and joy.
The first word of their charter is fun. So the tiny cars are a comedy bit.
Yeah.
It's a great bit. Okay, that's good.
But yeah, the Jester Society, the Royal Order of the Jesters apparently had a lot of dirty sex shit going on. Orgies and...
Come on, guys.
I think that's how it all
We're
ties
having
together.
fun.
Don't kink shame them.
No, like pedo shit though.
Oh, okay. Kink shame them for that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up the Dead Kennedys Shriners cover because now I want to remember what the name of the album. Frankenchrist. The album Frankenchrist.
Right.
The Dead Kennedys. Not my favourite album of theirs, but still a good album. Do you guys want to hear the results of the poll?
What poll?
You ordered a burger with fries. Do you eat
Did you post this while we were doing the thing?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. We've had 15 votes.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Do you eat the burger first? Eat all the fries first? Alternate between both? Eat the burger first? 7%. No one.
Right.
Like, barely anyone. Eat the fries first? 33%.
Oh!
Alternate between both? 60%.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
That's 15 votes. Still got 23 hours and 32 minutes.
Okay.
But look at the time of morning we're recording this in for some reason. All these people are fucked.
Anyone who's up this early, it's fucked in the head.
It's 10 to 11 on a Saturday morning. It's not like it's 4 o'clock in the morning here. People have got up, had their delicious breakfast, had a coffee, gone to the shops, and then I wonder what our boys on Twitter are up to. Here's a poll to vote on.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, after it's run the 24 hours, we'll maybe report back next episode.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it for Jeffrey?
Yeah, that is it. I mean, there's lots more. But yeah, that's it for us. Never talking about it again. We'll be back. We'll be back on this shit.
Yeah. Where can they find us online, Robert?
Hypothepod on Twitter and Facebook. We don't actually really update that anymore.
Nah.
Last few episodes we haven't put on social media.
Just run a silent.
Yeah.
Whose job is it
to
post them?
That last episode, probably not a bad idea that we didn't plug it that hard.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because the system has always been, I edit the episode, put it into the current channel on Slack and say the name of the episode. Cam, you make a graphic for the episode, put that on the channel, and then I put that on socials. I've been putting the names in the channel, and then the graphic hasn't been appearing.
Right.
I even said, hey, Cam, can you do a graphic a couple of times?
Oh.
And so
and I've said, Robbo, why don't you do one of your awful graphics?
Well, no, but you've mocked me for my graphics in the past. So I'm like, well, I'm not setting myself up for a mocking.
No one's interested in this. Where can they find you, Robbo? Ale of a Time?
At Ale of a Time, everywhere for beer stuff. Yep. Eats and drinks on YouTube for Salty and me. Doing cooking stuff.
Yep, excluding people. Salty, where can they find you?
At Saltmarsh on Instagram and Twitter. Andrew Saltmarsh Illustration on Facebook. Check out Toyhada on Patreon.
And you can find me at Sextonheimer on Twitter. Gather around me on Facebook, iTunes for my other podcast. Do have another episode coming out sometime in the very near future.
Wow, excluding us.
Yeah,
already
who's
recorded.
talking about exclusion.
Yeah. Never been invited on that show.
No.
If you enjoyed this Epstein chat, you'll be able to hear some more.
All right.
Also, I interviewed the journalist Robert Evans from Bellingcat and elsewhere on the Sewer Show on 3CR. And I even put up a podcast of it, which you can find at 3cr.org.au/SUWA.
Sewer. Okay. Yeah. Not sewer.
No.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't worry about a thing, except if all our world leaders are alien reptilians. I said don't worry about a thing, except maybe the fluoride in our water supply contains mind-altering drugs. Don't worry about a thing, except whether or not Port Arthur was a false flag operation in which to disarm Australia. I said don't worry about a thing. I accept you can definitely hear John Lennon say I buried Paul at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever. Ooh, don't worry about a thing, except not only did Bush do 9/11, but he also keeps the planes out in Area 51, which, let's not forget where all of the aliens are. Don't worry about a thing, except Donald Trump is clearly